Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alicia and today we're wrapping up Witch-a-thon Round 2. So, let's talk about the books that I read during the read-a-thon. So, quick review if you don't know or didn't know, there was a read-a-thon created by Sam over at the Yarn Reader. I will leave her channel link down below in the description. But she created a read-a-thon based on witches. The first round you were a baby witch and you had to read prompts in order to go towards a specific type of witch. It could be a hedge witch, a kitchen witch, it could be a traditional witch, all sorts. So in round 2, we were part of different covens. I was the priestess for the traditional coven. There was a crystal coven, a hedge coven, kitchen coven, a solo coven. I feel like I'm missing cosmic. Cosmic was the other one. In this group of covens, you were able to choose which coven you wanted to participate in, and then as you went through the read-a-thon, you read books to gain pages or points, and then whichever coven had the most pages or most points, then you were able to, the priestess for that coven was able to choose a book for all the other covens to read. So I will show you or tell you who won in that round and what book they picked or what book I picked for everyone else. But first, let's get started by talking about all of the books that I read, and then we'll go from there. Now, when talking about these books, I'm not going to go in grave detail. I'm just going to give you the title and the author, show the book if possible. If I don't have a copy of the book, I will have somewhere on the screen in the corner here, and we'll go from there. The first book that I read for the Witch-a-thon is the Big Book of 30-Day Challenges by Rosanna Casper. This one was a really quick read. It was very short, but it also gives you ideas, like if you wanted to start something or make something a habit, then this was the 30-day challenge to help you with that. The next book on this list, I will have a cover photo of it here, as I do not have the book any longer, but that was Unravel Me by Tahara Mafi. The next book I read was Declutter Your Home in 15 Minutes a Day by Dawn Madsen. This is also another fellow YouTuber, and I will have her link channel down below. But she is known as the Minimal Mom, and she helps you with decluttering your house, not necessarily going into a minimalist, but just decluttering and organizing your house better. The next 3 books are a collection of short stories, also about a YouTuber, and I will link his channel down below as well as the author. But the first book was 0 Days Without Incidents. The second book, I'll say it's called The Hufflepuff Enigma. That's what it's supposed to be, but you can't use the words, so the author had to get creative. I think it's pretty creative. And the last one was Don't Go Alone. These are all by Jackson Bentley. I will leave a link to his Amazon down below. They're really cute short stories. He does have other stories as well, and well, you can go check it out for yourself. The next book on this list is Covet by Tracy Wolff. This is book 3 of the Crave series. It was a chunker of a book, but I absolutely adored it, so keep an eye out for the review on this one coming soon. The next 2 books on this list are both by the same author and are part of the same series. The first one is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This is the first book in the Murderbot series. And the second one is Artificial Condition. This is book 2 of the same series. They're both little short novellas, and it's pretty neat to read. I enjoyed them, and these were actually a reread. Next up, I read the Mortal Instruments City of Bones Shadow Hunters Guide. You can see it's very shiny. But this is basically talking about the different people and different things that they used in the movie for City of Bones. The next two books, again, are by the same author. I did a lot of that this read-a-thon, but the books I read are Quidditch Through the Ages and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, both by J.K. Rowling. Now, I don't know how well these covers will show up because they do have a little bit of magic to them. These books are all by the same author. It is Charles Gilman, I believe, but the first one is Professor Gargoyle. I don't know if you can see that the cover changes, but this is part of the Tales from Lovecraft Middle School. So the first one is Professor Gargoyle. The second one was The Slither Sisters. The third one is called Teacher's Pest. And the last one is called Substitute Creature. These were really fun to read. These were also a reread, and I don't know if I've done a book review on them, but I can. Just leave me a comment down below and let me know if you would like to see that. I also read a classic, as that was part of my bingo board, so I read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I've read this one before, but it's been a while, so I decided to reread it for the Witch-a-thon. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it fulfilled 3 different prompts for me. So, yay! The last book that I read in this Witch-a-thon was another chunker and also part of a series, and that was Court by Tracy Wolff. Once I finished Covet, I had to get my hands on this one. I wasn't planning on reading it until this month or in October before the 5th book comes out in November, but she's doing such a great job in writing these books that I couldn't wait to read this one. Absolutely loved it. Look forward to a review on this one. Okay, so now that all of the books are out of the way, let's talk about all the graphic novels that I read. These I can read pretty quickly, even if they are 300-400 page graphic novels. Obviously, I mean, it's pictures with text, bubble text, you know, that kind of thing. So I can read these pretty quickly. So again, with these, no grave detail. I'm just going to show you the cover and read you the title. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so we're talking about graphic novels. The first 8 graphic novels are all by the same, it's the same series. And this is the Amulet series by Kazu Kibushi? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, not good with names. But this is Amulet 1, The Stone Keeper. And then we have Amulet 2, this is The Stone Keeper's Curse. Amulet Book 3, The Cloud Searchers. The Last Council. The Prince of the Elves. Escape from Lucian. Firelight. And Supernova. The next 3, again, also in the same series, but we have The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, and Titan's Curse, all by Rick Riordan and from the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. Again, another series that I have read, and these were actually a reread. These have been all over the internet, and that, of course, is Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. I read Volumes 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. And I'm looking forward to reading Volume 5. The next graphic novel is Username Evie by Joe Shug. Then we have a Charmed graphic novel. This, I believe, is actually supposed to be like Season 10, Volume 1. Then we had Lara Croft and the Frozen Omen. Tomb Raider Spore Volume 1. Tomb Raider Season of the Witch Volume 1. And then we had some more Charmed ones. We had, this is supposed to be Season 9. This is Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. After that, the graphic novels were pretty easy and still pretty fast to read, so I picked up Nimona. This is by Noelle Stevenson. This One Summer by Jillian Tamaki and Marco Tamaki. In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. I think I'm pronouncing those right. If not, I apologize. And then, of course, I had to bring out my version of the Twilight graphic novel. They had started with volumes 1 and volume 2, and then they put both volumes into one. So I chose to read this one, and then of course I continued with New Moon Part 1. The next 4 graphic novels were, of course, Game of Thrones Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. The last set of graphic novels that I read for Witch-a-thon was the True Blood Volumes 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's talk about Witch-a-thon and the results. So let me start by saying that my coven, I think I only had 2, maybe 3 people in my entire coven, and I was the one doing most of the reading. Those graphic novels helped immensely, let me tell you. So there were 6 covens total, and in all of the grand scheme of points and everything, I started out in 6th place. Now, again, like I said, I can read graphic novels pretty quickly. It was more so the chapter books and everything that kind of slowed me down a little bit, but I'm not complaining. I did pretty well for myself. So I started in 6th place, and I said, I honestly don't care if I win or lose, but I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could move my coven from 6th place to 1st place. It didn't have to stay there long. I didn't have to win. Didn't care about winning, really. I just wanted to challenge myself and see if I could get it to 1st place. So, in doing so and going throughout the Witch-a-thon, you were able to also not only log in your pages, but also log in pages or points for doing bonus prompts. Doing all of that, I managed to get my coven from 6th place to 2nd place. Was so close in getting to 1st place, but we did not. The winner of the Witch-a-thon Round 2 ended up being Katie from the Crystal Coven, and I will post her little picture here. She ended up winning, and she ended up picking the book Daisy Jones and the Six. I have ordered the book, but it has not come in the mail yet, so here is a picture of the cover here. This was so much fun to participate in, and I do hope that Sam does a round 3, whether it be later this year or next year, but it was fun, and yeah, I had a fun time. I had a blast. Well, with that being said, and Witch-a-thon Round 2 is complete, I guess I could go back to my regular reading schedule? Maybe? Well, let's see what happens. But that's all for me, guys, in this video. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!